Hey fam, welcome back to Coffee, Kids, and Clarity. I am your host, Dawn Kralovich. This is where we talk about real stuff, real life, real humans, real emotions, and most likely somebody yelling mom in the background. I will like to prefix with my voice today. I do have a chest cold. I promise I'm okay otherwise. So if you're listening to this and not really seeing me, if you're like driving while you're listening to the podcast today, if you hear any heavy breathing, I'm not being a weirdo. It's just my chest. Also, I am wearing white, and I just want everybody to note that I have no stains on it. That's a miracle in this house. So that's where we're going to start today. I'm so glad you're back here. We're here, you and I. Today's episode's for my mamas. I wanted to make this one for my moms, for motherhood, because that's something I full-fledged can speak upon. So I thought labeling this episode today, Motherhood, Mayhem, and the Micro Moments of Magic, was wildly appropriate. Because, you know, the tired moms, the overstimulated moms, the happy moms, the I did too much moms, the I need a break moms, the I'm going to hide in the pantry moms, we're all here for it. I'm here for all of it because I do all of those things. And I also kind of want to not press on like so much it's so crazy all the time, but that it's okay to own that it can be an absolute you-know-what show at times. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's in the moments of stuff like the in-betweens that we get to celebrate. And I don't know about you guys, but I love my kids fiercely. Every last one of them, all five. I would do anything. But sometimes it's just, I'm tapping out. It just becomes completely overwhelming. And it is completely okay to own it and not feel bad about it. So a lot of today's talk is going to be just on motherhood and the guilt that we all can just leave at the door for a little bit. And yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for the truth of motherhood and the magic that also comes with it and the experiences and the love. Man, the unconditional love. Whew. I just got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps with that one because being a mom is something that is the most rewarding, stressful, loving, chaotic thing in the entire planet, right? So, and sometimes we stretch our heart and our nervous system a little too much, so we get to kind of move through that today and see if you can relate to this, because I want this to be relatable. That's the whole point of this podcast, right? So here we are. So take a breath. You're safe here, right? No judgment at all. You can imagine what my house looks like on any given day with multiple children. And it doesn't matter if you just have one. If you're pregnant and listening to this, congratulations, welcome. And then you get to, just kind of hear both sides of it, because isn't that what we grew up doing? Like, you want to hear both sides of the story because there are two sides to everything. So I think it's important to state that about motherhood and just giggle about it and laugh about the craziness and the tears and all of the things. So I can't stress this enough. Motherhood is not a highlight reel, okay? Sometimes it's sold to us as this most beautiful, glowing, no wrinkles thing, that it's just everything's perfect, on point. I'm here to tell you there are moments of that, but there's also opposite to that. It's loud, it's sticky, it's emotional, it's tantrums. It's, oh my God, I forgot to get this one here. Oh, I have to pick this one up. It's a lot of moving parts, right? So the demand, right? I don't know about your house. I have 2 boys and 3 girls. My 4-year-old, well, he will be 4. He eats nonstop. I don't know some days. Some days I don't think there's enough snacks in our house. And a complete side note, if you also are triggered by the word snack, I feel you on that one. There's just not enough snacks in the world. So every 12 minutes. Fun fact I did find out for you moms who are in this also like kind of toddler phase, like 2, 3, 4, almost into kindergarten too, is that they can ask up to, I have to like ground myself when I say this because, man, when I heard this, I applauded myself and my husband. They can ask up to 140 questions an hour. Can we just take a moment of silence for that? 140 questions per hour. So if that doesn't itself overstimulate you, yeah, you're a superwoman. Because just getting taken out of that 400 times to be interrupted to then try to do whatever task you're trying to complete, insanity, right? So you have a right to tappity tap tap out at that point. I'm with you on that one. And what I will say too is when we don't feel grateful or present or patient 24/7, that's that mom guilt, what I talked about in the beginning, where it just kind of inserts itself, and then it loves to just like, it's like a succubus where it just grabs a hold of you and you're trying to shake it off, but you can't seem to do that sometimes. So we're going to kind of pick that apart a little bit because it's necessary. Because I feel like at this point with my motherhood experience, and not that I'm an expert, I'm no child expert, I'm just going off of personal experience, right? And for those of you who are just joining us, hey, what's up? Who has never seen this episode in like the beginning where I talked about my life and why I'm here. I have 5 kids, ages 4, 6, 10, 12, and 17. So I have a child that will be going into kindergarten in next year or so, and then I have my oldest who is graduating high school this year. So just wanted to kind of give you more context there. The guilt that says I should be doing more. With what? Like how much more do you give of that, right? Or the I shouldn't feel this frustrated. Says who? I want you to think about that. Like, says who? Says who's a good question. I ask a lot when I'm in a coaching container with clients, like I'll say says who on repeat, kind of like my 3-year-old, because it's important. Because we really got to figure out who said. Was it the narrative society, which you bet your bottom dollar it's partly that, how you grew up, how your relationship with your mother was or wasn't, and how maybe you're overextending self to fill that gap so your kids don't go without or vice versa, right? So, and the other moms seem to handle this better. I'm not going to curse. I really want to on this one, but I'm not. But I'm just going to call. I'm going to call BS. I'm calling BS. Again, there's no comparison here. What I decide what's best for my children and I and my husband, I like how I'm raising them, what I want to do. It's like I've never raised 5 kids. Literally every day it is different. I don't always know what to expect. And that also helps me process like the guilt and not feeling so guilty because I'm learning this path too. It's like a new path I'm learning. I've never had to raise this many children and under different circumstances where things have changed and altered. So yeah, I really, really want to hammer this home. Mom guilt is the fastest way to pull you out of presence with your children because then guess what you're thinking about instead of just being in the moment, right? Because they want you. They want your time. They want mom. Like, and they don't know what sometimes that looks like, especially the little ones. I mean, even the teenagers. And that's, again, we're going from all these different stages of life. We're growing. The growth just doesn't happen with the children. It happens with you as a parent as well as a mom. So yeah, it drags you, it just pulls you again right into your head, and then you kind of perseverate on it and it's stuck. Okay, we want to like take the leash off of that. Right? We don't want you there all the time. And then it does that fun thing where it pulls you into comparison, where you start to hop on Instagram or Facebook or whatever tickles your fancy, whatever social media platform, and you go, oh, well that mom's not doing that. Well, she doesn't feel like that. Again, I'm just gonna say, I'm calling BS. Because it's incomparable. Like, we can't do that. Yes, there are definitely commonalities to raising children and being a mother, okay? However, how your household is run under your circumstances, that's just totally individualized how that works, right? Again, and this is applicable across the board for pretty much life in general, not just as a mother, okay? So we can take this, you see what I did here? Take all this stuff and use it for other things, okay? And you see me licking my lips a lot. It's so dry. There's not enough chapstick in the world today, so I'll apologize in advance. But this is what real life looks like. Okay? The next part of this I really want to dive into as I giggle about it, right, is the lens in which your child views you, right? I sat with that for a while because, again, I think this goes back to how we were raised and our relationship with our mother or our guardian, whatever that looked like, and things you thought about that. And I heard a saying, and I apologize, I don't know who said it, I can't quote the person, but no 2 siblings have the same parents, And what that means is that their experience with their mother or father, like, it's not going to be one and the same. I'm sure my brother and I have had different, I know we've had different experiences there. So it's nothing to be ashamed of, or again, no need for guilt to be inserted. It's just you're doing your best and you're working with the tools you learned how to do, right? It took me a while to stop yelling. I'm just going to be completely transparent on that. That makes me feel really icky and vulnerable. But I'm here to do that for you guys. If I have to be the example or the stepping stone for you to feel better in this moment and understanding you are not alone here, tag, I meant, I'll take that. Because I think it's important. And I think the more that we are honest and transparent about that stuff, it removes like the complexity of motherhood. And it also allows for more presence and more patience to be inserted on the days where you're like, capacity's at like a 9%. Okay. Like I feel that one. There is no one way to do motherhood. I cannot stress that enough. Again, maybe your mom was like nurturing and or she was, I don't know, over nurturing or overbearing, or maybe it just wasn't enough and she left you to your own a lot. And I'm 44, so I'm a 80s to 90s baby. So, I was a latchkey kid, my brother and I don't know if anybody remembers that. That really shows my age, but if y'all can kind of think about that. And early on in my life, it was a single parent household. It was just my mom and my brother and I. So there was a lot of different dynamics shifting in there. And it allows us to learn from that instead of like feeling bad if that's what we're doing. Right now, you can just simply pause, pump the brakes, and think about what you're doing with your own child and why maybe sometimes it's really triggering for you when your child acts a certain way. And you don't know why. You're like, why is this so bad? I'm just going to get real personal here today. I tell you what, why not? This is what I'm here for. My now 5-year-old, my girl, she, when she was 2 and 3, it was rough. She threw a lot of emotional tantrum. I mean, out of all 5 of my children, she took the winning trophy for tantrums and just emotional outbursts and just, it would send me. I would be quick to lose patience. I would yell or tell her to get it. And then I realized it took me a while to do just this, right? I had to have this deep conversation with myself, like, why the heck does this bother you so much? Like, and what I understood is that when I was her age and I was younger, I didn't have that space. I'm not going to speak about certain people in my life that were in my life that raised me, but it wasn't the best setting at times. There was some forms of abuse. So for me, I didn't have a voice. I wasn't allowed to speak out loud. I had to be very quiet. And what I understood in that moment is that I really was like, oh, wait, she feels so safe. She's just emotionally regulating right in that moment. She's not waiting. We allow her to be herself, and we allow her to regulate her nervous system how she deems necessary, right? So I really, when I sat with that and understood that, I was able to approach things differently with her when she was. And now I can honestly say she'll be turning 6 soon. She's doing well, doing great in kindergarten. When she has moments like that, I know how to treat her nervous system differently. I get to understand her a little bit better. So I hope that lends to you in a way if you're moving through it, especially moms with girls. It ain't for the weak. Hormones are not for the weak. They start at a young age. So I just want you to know you're not sailing on that boat alone. Again, why I'm like to be completely transparent and vulnerable here with this episode, because it matters so much to all of us who are moving through this. So you need to hear it. You're doing a great job. I don't care what other people say. You do what's best for you, boo-boo. Okay, well, moving on. And that, again, when I talk about the past, that again comes up as the comparison into realizing that's just not how I was raised or things were allowed for me as a child, right? And that's not me knocking my mama. That's not me putting it out. I'm not putting anything on anybody. I also want to make that crystal clear, especially mom, if you're watching. Hello, love you. So on this next segment, and we're stepping into, is the things that matter most. The big hint. really big hint I'm going to drop, it's not the internet. Okay? It's not the internet. Please, please don't compare yourself to other moms on the internet, on social media. It's just you are setting yourself up there, sis, for just a day of wanting to hit your head against the wall about the shoulda, woulda, couldas and what you're not doing. Okay? So I think that that's important. Moving on to this next segment, I'm naming this The Things That Matter Most. Big hint, it's not the internet. It is so not the internet. Okay, sis? It is not even close to the internet when it comes to motherhood, right? Just, I'm going to lovingly call this out, right? My intention behind this is loving. Social media motherhood is, oh, it's mostly trash. I'm sorry. We got to take the garbage out. That's why I just don't do it. I just don't compare myself because I don't believe it. I think in the world we live in today, it is hard to decipher that, right? What's real, what's not. You see everything that's happening in all this chaos, if you will. And understanding that is the last thing you need as a mother, is to be compared to other mothers, right? Absolutely not. So it's curated, it's filtered, it's performative. And there are moms like myself that are totally real and respect. That's what I want to see because that's what I can get behind because that's what makes me feel good, right? As a mother, and that allows me to stay way more present with my kids and knowing I am not perfect. There are times I curse like a sailor and I have to catch myself. My kids are very well aware that's an adult thing, asterisk sign, they know very well it's an adult thing, but I'm honest. And I apologize to my kids a lot because, like I was talking about previous, this is a learning experience. I have never raised 5 kids, right? Especially 17. Like my oldest is graduating high school. Like, I mean, that's life altering. This is just a huge next milestone. And then I have very little wee ones, right? So I have to process all that. It's all like hitting me differently, right? So what I might feel for one may not apply to the next. 2, that's a big one, right? Also, having all of these kids, I must say, like, they each have, they got similarities. They all came from me, you know. However, how I discipline and how I talk to them is literally different for all 5 of them because they have different personalities. Okay, mamas? Each kid is different, right? I mean, yelling at one versus the other, one might cry, the other might go, okay, no problem, mom. Completely different. So I just think about that too. That's another thing I just want to stack on to the stuff today that we're talking about because I find that to be important. And comparison steals your joy. I've said that before in a couple other episodes here with Coffee, Kids, and Clarity, that it takes away. It just takes away from that moment, right? And why do you want to allow that? Like, you wouldn't let an intruder just walk in your house and beat your door down and come on in. Like, it's the same idea here, really. Why are you allowing that to enter your space and dictate how you feel about your babies and what you're doing as a mom? Food for thought. Okay? Let that simmer, if you will. And you're doing the best you can. I can't. You are doing the best you can with the tools, with the energy, with the knowledge, what you know of. And that's why this makes this so beautiful, right? So I just kudos to you. Applause. Golf clap. Okay, I really want you to understand that the capacity in which you have things, again, the season of life you're in, kids are older, younger, it's so different. It's so different, right? And just to own the fact that it is different. And you are going to yell. You're going to lose your you-know-what on your kids. It's going to happen, okay? The important part is that you get to, like, fix it in the resolution, if you will. Fix it. Like, you get to have a conversation with your child and repair there. I have found with motherhood and different in my kids and how I discipline differently and all the things is that I'm always having a conversation with them after, even the little ones. You'd be surprised. Kids are extremely smart, how much they absorb. They're like little sponges, how much they remember. Okay? And if you have that conversation, like the big hugs I get and, you know, just the we figured this out together, but don't do that stuff again. Like they appreciate that. So try it, see what happens. What's the worst? What's the worst gonna happen? You're gonna be where you are, and that's totally fine too, because again, we're learning, okay? There's no perfect. I hate to break it to you. I think we should just remove that word right out of the dictionary, if I'm being real, because they need a real one. You're real. This is real. I'm real. Relatable. Because as they get older, right, just like you did in your relationship with your mother, what did you remember there, right? And how was it applied throughout your mothering, right? Okay. I mean, we can normalize this. You're going to lose your patience. I'm not even going to beat the dead horse, resuscitate it, and beat it again. You're going to lose your patience. It is inevitable. You're going to snap. You're going to yell. It is okay. I'm telling you, if you just need permission from me today to know that it is okay that you lost your you-know-what on your kids, and then you went and had a conversation, and made the resolution there, and you got that big hug and the I love you, mommy, wonderful, right? Like, that's success. I mean, as a mom, that's success to me. My kids are happy, healthy, and well-rounded. And I can't always deem what that's going to be for them as they get older, but right now, I know I get to be that place for them, right? That nurturing place. Yeah, I say sorry a lot. I say sorry to my kids. Not every day, but, frequently throughout the week, and I'm okay with it. That wasn't like that when I was growing up. By the way, it's not really apologies from mom. Different time, different generations, and it's all relevant, right? Again, I'm not knocking any of that. I think I turned out pretty good. I'm just saying. I mean, you don't have to agree with that. So this part for me, as we kind of wrap up a little bit, is just kind of tangible practices for real life mothering, okay? Like friendly mothering practices, because it has to work in your day-to-day life. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Because then we just, again, lay on the guilt. I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough. And then we bring up 400 other things that have been sitting on our brain that have been underneath that, because we don't feel good. And it takes us out of ourself, our empowerment of just being here and being present. Micro presence, right? I cannot, I am not present 24/7. I cannot be, especially with multiple children. And I have a marriage that I'd like to pay attention to as well. So sometimes I'm able to do it and then break it up for different times, right? For a great example, my time with the little ones is usually right before bed, where we get some laughs in, we read some books, we're doing whatever, and that's their time that we talk. For my teenager, it's usually later at night, when she comes home from work or school, whatever she's doing. Sometimes it's the ride to school. Sometimes it's the ride home from school. For my son, it's the ride to maybe his basketball practice or wrestling practice. Sometimes it's me taking my girls out to the mall, go shopping, get some lunch, and just letting them be themselves. So whatever that looks like for you, whatever works, and whatever, it doesn't have to be, by the way, there's no time frame here. My kids sometimes only get me by themselves for 10 minutes, but at least I'm trying, right? I would love to do that more, and some days I'm able to do more. Some days I'm not. Today probably won't be one of those days. But I'll make it very known that I love them and that they matter, right? Because that's all they really need. That's what they want. That from you. They want to know, right? That reciprocation. Just like we want to know as parents, moms. Listen, when my kid, I wasn't feeling good last night. My kid came in and kissed me on the forehead. And he's like, "Can I get you anything, Mom?" I mean, that just made my day. I was just like, "Oh, you're paying attention," right? So it is the micro moments. They do matter. Even 60 seconds counts. I don't care who told you otherwise. If I got to give you the permission slip, you got permission, okay? Name the win. At the end of the day, name the one thing you did well. Again, we're going to keep the bar real low here. One thing you did well. It could literally be, I did not lose my you-know-what today for so-and-so's behavior. Good for you, Mom. Good for you. Breathe. I do a lot of deep breathing. We forget how to breathe, especially when our emotions are taking over. So just pause, just take the deep breath. It can really make a difference of the reaction, right? Like if my kids see me taking a couple deep breaths, they typically will move out of that space and just give me a moment, so I can address it differently because I want to. I don't want to, like, it happens. I still lose my stuff. I am not perfect. Again, we're going to just remove that word out of motherhood and the dictionary completely. It's okay. And I understand that. I take accountability for it. So, and then we talk about it, right? Communicate that. But yeah, I mean, take a deep breath because it can change the trajectory of that moment. Okay? Okay. Repair out loud. Okay? Normalize apologizing and reconnecting. I mean, it's just that simple, fam. It's just that simple, moms. It does model emotional intelligence in the way that your kids can understand and see you as a human and not just a mom. And I think that's important sometimes, that they understand you have needs as a human, as a person. Like I have needs as Dawn, not just as mom, because that is just a version of us. That's not who we are all of the time. And I think that, if you will, normalizes that for kids, especially as they get older and they see that, you know, that you have different interests and things like that. Like, you know, my oldest watches this and she shares my pot. Like that means everything, that she shares this and supports me in it and watches it because she sees me differently. Hey kid, how you doing? Shout out to you. Unfollow ruthlessly. Unfollow on social media. Okay, if an account, if you follow an account and it makes you feel less than, what are we doing? What you doing? Okay, unfollow it. You just hit the button, and you don't even have to look at it anymore. You don't have to pay attention to it. Okay, you get to protect your nervous system. Isn't that more important? I'm speaking one mom to the next. Isn't it more important because we already have only so much capacity for these children throughout our day? Why are we wasting our precious nervous system on things that don't matter, that really are null and void in comparison to whatever who says what? I was not at a baby shower that long ago. I give the same advice, you know, the baby shower where you like write, oh, word of advice, like piece of advice. My piece of advice always is don't listen to anybody's advice. Okay? I mean that in the most loving way possible. What I mean by that is you get to dictate what's good for you and your babies, right? And you don't need to be judged for it, right? And let me make this very clear. I'm talking like, not like in an unlawful way, okay? We're crossing certain lines. I don't think I have to emphasize that, but I will just say it out loud, right? There are situations that are wildly inappropriate and not okay. I get that part. But you don't, you know, like it's good if you can engage with other people and understand that and you like something, okay? So this is my letter to you. We love you. Moms, you're doing a great job. This world ain't easy, okay? So take a break, take a pause, you know, stop cleaning up some dirty diapers for a minute. I'll leave it at that. Okay, any questions, comments, concerns, all my information's listed. Episode 5, teaser for next week after this one. What the heck is intuition and how do I know it's working? That's a big one. And what is it versus what it's not? And how intuition is in real life and not Instagram life, okay? And tangible steps into tapping in and owning your intuition so you can feel good about it because you're a soul, right? All right. Well, you know what? And remember, if it doesn't fit into school drop-offs, dinner, deadlines, emotions, it's not the vibe. Till next week, fam. Take it easy.